So part 2 of percentages, percentages of amounts. And this is what you've faced in the real world often, because you'll go into a shop, you'll look to buy a t-shirt, hopefully more stylish than this one I've drawn here, and you'll see that it is 25% off. And you'll be trying to work out how much you've saved. Now, luckily, in the real world, they tell you how much you save, but it's not a bad idea to be able to work out these kind of percentages yourself. Or when they say, for example, that house prices are going to go up by 3%, to know what that actually means. And calculate, if you're looking for a house that used to cost this much, how much will it now cost? So, let's start with some really important ones. Let's start with 50%. And we'll start with 50% of 20. Now, this is trying to find 50% of something, okay? Something that is the original amount, which means that that is 100% of the value. And the figure given to you at the beginning, therefore, will always be 100% of the value. So, 100% equals 20. How can I use that to find 50%? Well, that's right, it's half of it, because 50 is half of 100, so it's 10. So 50% equals a half of is a good thing to remember at this stage. Let's try another popular one, and you'll see why I've chosen this very quickly. 25%. And in this case, I'm going to make it 25% of 16. So I'm going to set up in the same way. In this case, 16 is the original amount. So that is 100%. Now, some of you will see that 25 goes into 100 straight away. Some of you will prefer to do it in stages. What could you work out first if you wanted to? That's right. You could work out 50 first if you wanted. It's completely up to you. So, if you were to work out 50 first, you've halved it. So that would be 8. Then to work out 25, you'd half it again to get 4. If you did it all in one go, 100 to 25, well, 4 of those go into that. So you divide by 4. So you divide by 4. These two are very popular ones that you want to remember. We'll make a table at the end. Next up, %. Okay, 10% of 50. So 50 is the original amount. So 100% is equal to 50, and I'm going to try and find 10%. So, like we did up here, where we said how many 25s go into 100, let me ask you the same question. How many 10s go into 100? If you've worked out it's 10, well done. So we're going to divide by 10. That gives me 10% is 5. So 10% is 1/10 of. Another very important one. Now, let's see if we can use those three results to help us with a slightly trickier one. If you need to pause and write these down at any point, remember to do so. So let's do 20% of 60. Okay, so 60 is the original amount. So 100% equals 60. Now, I can go straight to 20%, just like we did up here with straight to 25%. Or I can do a step. What do you think that step is? Well done if you thought that 10% would be a good step. 10% was dividing by 10, so what will it be? It will be 6. So what will 20% be? Well, that's twice as much, so it's going to be 12. Now, you can see how you can use things like 10% to work out other percentages. Let's check something here though and see if we could have gone all the way in one go. So how many 20s go into 100? That's 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we could have just divided by 5 and found 1/5. It's up to you which way you do it, but all of those are useful. In the next part, we're going to build up and do some more complicated calculations involving things like 15%, and then we're going to go into things like 12%. Then we'll go on to things like 2.3%.